Got out of dump fund.
Yeah.
Sometimes it sucks.
Wow.
Rule number 1, you can't rush the beer. Rule number 2, you can't fix beer. If it's messed up, it's messed up. Not amount of sugar or fruit will fix it.
Yeah, it's done.
Just can't do that. You got to just roll with it, and you just got to put it down the drain. I've seen plenty of breweries that are like, oh, we're going to add strawberry to this. I'm like, how long has it been in a tank? Oh, like 4 weeks. I'm like, that's a bright tank, right? Like, yeah. Why? Like, did you need that tank? It's like, oh, yeah, like 6 times. Like, how much that cost?
Yeah, not worth it.
Just put it down the drain, man.
Welcome back to the Brew That Podcast. I'm your host, Richie Tevlin, joined as always by Evan Blum.
Hello.
And today we have on beverage consultant, been everywhere, done that. Everyone knows you, John Stemler from Philadelphia brewing scene.
From all over.
Yes. So like we said, we're going to get into everything, your whole story today on the podcast. I guess, where should we start? Ursinus?
Well, yeah, I went to Ursinus for biology and chemistry.
Cool.
I almost finished.
You're one of the only people that I know that's in brewing that actually has like a biology and chemistry.
Yeah.
Most people have, like an art degree, something like that.
I always wanted to make beer, but I never, I was like everybody else. I left Ursinus because my dad got ill, and I went home, and I tried to go back to night school, but he had an irrigation company that I worked during the summers and weekends for funsies and money, and I was encouraged to take it over, so I did, and that was my first foray into workaholism. I don't recommend doing that when you're 22 and not knowing what the heck you're going to do with yourself, but I did that, and also did some general contracting and things like that, and I always wanted to make beer, but never
What did the irrigation? Was that just like laying pipes and stuff?
Yeah, it was, I was insured basically as a plumber.
Okay.
Because there wasn't like an irrigation, module for insurances back then.
Yeah.
But I did it, I was doing irrigation since I was 12 years old. So, hydrodynamics, fluid control, automation systems, sort of.
Yeah.
And things like that. And just mechanics and things like that it came to me. Some people are mechanically inclined. Some people aren't. I'm apparently mechanically inclined.
Do you think that has helped you? I feel like...
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, plumbing is like a vital need in a brewery. It's like when you find the plumbers, you follow them around. The
first glycol valves I installed at Free Will were irrigation valves because they were...
just natural to you.
It's like, do I want to spend $650 on a control valve, or do I want to spend $12? They opened a brewery for $93,000.
Yeah. It just not marketed as like made for beer.
No. It's just glycol. I was like, this. I'm looking at the temperature specs. I'm like, this will work. It mostly worked. It doesn't like the lower pressure of a glycol system, so we had to make sure it stayed above 25 pounds. But other than that, it's been fine. But yeah, I did that for a long time. And then the 2006, the sort of recession thing that happened.
Yeah.
Sort of messed that all up, and I was pretty miserable, working a lot, not getting paid much, and basically working for my employees, and sold my business, well, not the business itself, but the assets and myself, essentially, to a larger firm. Worked that for 3.5 years and killed myself, and was even a darker spot, and one day just pulled into the homebrew store. Like the truck had a mind of its own. And I went in there and said, I want to make beer. And they're like, well, okay. What do you want to make?
Where's that?
Keystone Homebrew.
So we just had Hannah on last night.
Oh, nice.
So I worked with Hannah. I used to work at Keystone Homebrew.
Nice.
2015.
Okay.
And I met her when I was there, and she mentioned that, she had initially met you through there before she was at Free Will.
Well, she was working there when I was coming in, and then after that, I pulled her from there to Free Will.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. It's a very small world.
Yes, it is. Definitely is. But yeah, I just pulled in there and was like, hey, I want to make beer. And they're like, what do you want to make? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, what do you drink? I'm like, I don't drink. I wasn't even drinking alcohol at that time.
Wow.
Yeah. I was just, working a lot and lifting a bunch, and that was pretty much my life. So I did that and left a decent salary to go back to retail at $11 an hour with a wife and 2 kids in it. Well, 3 kids because she came with one. So it was probably not my smartest move, but, I was happy-ish.
Mm-hmm. You were working at Keystone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I left there, and I started working there in July of 2008.
Okay.
And stayed on full-time until we opened Free Will, essentially at the tail end of 2011.
Okay.
And then I still was there here and there until about 2013. I worked there part-time here and there just for, fun.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit last night. That was like a massive homebrew shop. So what's the homebrew shop over in West Philly that a lot of people that started at?
Home Sweet Homebrew.
Home Sweet Homebrew.
Right.
But then Keystone was the other. There's also Week Knee on Pottstown.
Right. Well, the guys at Week Knee started coming into Keystone, and then they started buying their ingredients for their winery and homebrew store from Keystone.
Oh, wow.
Cost plus 30 before they got their own accounts. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I still talk to Jason from Keystone. I talked to him yesterday because he still has the winery.
What is the winery called?
Stone and Key.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit also. It wasn't just a homebrew shop. Like there was a ton of people making like wine out of there, like homebrew wine stuff, and then cheese, mead. There was even like distilling equipment there, which is like
it's for water.
Oh yeah. The water distilling equipment that they had there. Right. I remember it was just like, is this still like, no, that is a water purification system.
Right. Yes, you could distill that liquor with it.
If you wanted to.
It's really just to make distilled water. Okay, sure.
So you always had an interest in beer, but it wasn't until like going to home. Did you homebrew at all prior to that?
I just literally veered in there. I was like, I want to make beer. Today's the day, I guess.
Did you drink any beer like in like college? Or prior?
Come on now.
Okay, so it came out of somewhere. Like,
Oh yeah, man. I've always liked beer. I mean, I was the little kid, grabbing my dad's beer and tasting it.
Yeah.
Most people are like, yeah. I was like, this is cool. I like this. This tastes good. I didn't keep drinking. I knew better, but of course, college.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I have a few blackout nights. I don't want to.
At the Trap Tavern?
Oh yeah, penny drinks Sunday nights.
Yeah,
Heck yeah. I'd finish studying for chemistry and go up there with my friend Pam and come home sort of remember the rest of the evening.
That's funny.
So yeah, kept doing that. I was teaching homebrew classes before I actually read a book on homebrewing. Probably not great, but it just, the biology and chemistry sort of fit.
Just natural to you. What sort of things were you brewing back then?
Anything I could think of.
Anything?
My first kit was a winter warmer because I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And of course we, bottled that and drank it prematurely because, no patience.
Yeah.
And they were in the Grolsch swing tops, of course, because cheap.
Yeah.
And buying the cases of Grolsch and trying to get friends to drink the Grolsch so they got the bottles to make more beer.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But then I made a Belgian white and it was good. And at the time, I just was doing it for funsies. I didn't have any intentions of opening a brewery. I just wanted to make beer as a hobby. It was sort of an outlet because I wasn't really happy with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kept making beer, and then a friend of mine who I used to ride with, because I used to race mountain bikes, he did trials, and he heard that I was home brewing, and he had been home brewing just, the ingredients and extract kits. And we started brewing together, and we just sort of had a similar philosophy. And he's like, "You're pretty good at this, and I'm tired of paving. Why don't we do something?" So we literally just built a pilot system out of his garage, like a 1.5 barrel pilot system with a glycol chiller, a walk-in cooler, and just
was that you that built it? You were the mechanically inclined?
Yeah. He was the funds because I didn't have any.
Yeah.
He was single on his own home.
Yeah.
Just good to go. I had all these kids, all these animals, and he ended up, we just brewed by the numbers. I was like, this isn't going to work, so let's just prove to ourselves this isn't going to work. And then it actually did. I started doing, I did it very scientifically. I logged everything meticulously, almost meticulously. You still go back and go, I should have wrote that down. But we started brewing by the numbers, and it sort of worked. Like, I guess a year of this, we should probably start looking for a space. And that was back when there wasn't help. There was no online portals. There wasn't small equipment. Nothing was available. I had to figure out, and we couldn't afford a lawyer. So I decided I was going to do it myself. So I spent a lot of time in my home office in the basement going through government websites and navigating that wormhole till I found what I needed. And then we still had to go to the borough, and, get them to give us a special exception for a space we had found, because my brother happened to have his landlord had some spaces in the same building that were less than ideal for most businesses, which means definitely less than ideal for us, but, cheap. And he was willing to sign a lease with us contingent upon acceptance. He would let us out if we didn't get our, state and federal approvals to do what we wanted to do. He'd let us out of the lease. But I was still 11 months of paying a lease without actually opening.
Yeah.
And, back then, like I said, there was no help, but I knew Larry Horowitz. At that point was at Iron Hill. He had taught my BJCP class and was a friend. And I said, hey, you're a consultant. Can you come in as an expert and talk to the council and just tell them that it's not going to be a mess? Like they're concerned with, sight, sound, and smell. He's like, we have Iron Hills right in the middle of residential areas, and it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay. And the water and the borough manager at the time, I had the foresight to know that, breweries put a lot of things down the sewer that actually mess up a sewer system because it's just a nutrient bomb.
Yeah. MAHiJinx dealing with that right now.
Yes. That's a whole other conversation.
Yes.
But I knew about it.
What year was this?
Let's see. We sat in front of them in 2010.
Okay.
Yep.
And this was all, you said this was first out of your friend's house. Was this also in like Bucks County?
Yeah, it was in Perkasie.
It was in Perkasie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we would have people over sometimes, and he would run interference and drink with everybody, and I would stay sober and brew. It was a couple times where I drank, and that's when we, messed stuff up. Like I would almost burn him. First thing that came out of my mouth in homebrew classes was first rule of homebrewing is don't drink while brewing, and of course everybody goes, oh, I'm like, dude, I'm telling you.
That's why I was terrible at brewing. I had like no patience.
Yeah.
And
You want to make
I was
good beer,
dumb,
you
like,
can't be drinking while brewing. Plus, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I didn't like that very much.
Yeah, and like a lot of the important stuff, like cooling the wood down, pitching the yeast, like that all happens at the end. Like,
On your
be the most
sauce.
sober. Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't start drinking until like I'm in the cooling stage. I'm like, that's when it's the most critical. No,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
I actually have a story I used to tell. One of the guys at the homebrew store, John, the other John, he and a friend were brewing, and they were, of course, drinking the whole time and probably smoking, and got real messed up and fell asleep on the couch. And their partners came down at the time and realized what was going on, and apparently paid enough attention to realize that the pack of yeast was still sitting there on the counter. So they pitched the yeast while they were asleep. It's like, yeah, you don't want to be in that.
Assist.
Yeah, they gave him the assist, and it worked out all right, I guess. But yeah, it was, those are the good days of, 1,200 breweries in the
Yeah.
United States.
We're not 10x that. But so you were starting off on this homebrew system, and then what was the original, brewing system?
Well, we went through a couple different iterations, but ended up turning a bunch of variable capacity 1,000-liter wine tanks into a 7.5 barrel-ish system, and just sort of really jerry-rigged it together. We had a brazed plate exchanger for cooling. Don't do that. At least it was big enough. It just was a pain to clean. It worked, and we got a giant 880,000 BTU impingement burner from Texas Smokers or whatever, Tejas Smokers out of Texas. This massive impingement burner, 88 jets. But that works. My brother also had the machine shop on the other side of the building and was a sanitary welder. So that was real convenient.
Between plumbing and welding, you guys could probably put most things together.
And that's kind of the way it worked throughout the life of my involvement with Free Will. Like, as we moved forward, we also got lucky. Being lucky really helped. I tell people, don't emulate what we did. We built 15 barrel fermenters out of plastic cylindrical conical tanks.
We have 15 barrel plastic.
We had glycol wraps, which very quickly we learned didn't work, and then put a stainless coil in the middle. That worked. Custom made stainless bulkheads, the plastic bulkheads. No. We made custom lids and stuff like that. Again, my brother I was like, I need to do this, but it doesn't exist. So he made them. He did sell some to other breweries in the area, and some of the smaller stuff we did sell for the homebrew store, but he was really new because he was my brother.
Yeah.
And that was fun. The only thing we bought, because we couldn't figure out a way to rig it, was a bright tank. So when Tired Hands got their first shipment from Canada in, we actually had the space to store it. So we stored it, and we had bought one of the Grundies. So we got open and used one of the Grundies as a half the size bright tank we needed. So we would run the 15, or we would just do a 7.5 barrel batch.
You were using their bright tank.
Well, we actually bought one.
Okay.
The Brown guys bought another one. The rest of their stuff just sat in our space because we had 10,000 square foot. What the heck do we need with that?
Yeah.
So while they were doing all their outfitting of the original pub, all the equipment sat in our space. And my brother did some of the sanitary welding there, some of the races between levels of the floor into the basement. He did that sanitary weld work. So
it was a 15 barrel system?
Yeah, that's what we did. We built it. Well, it was a 7 barrel system. We would double batch. We had a dedicated whirlpool. I had the foresight to think about that.
Yeah.
So we had a tall, narrow mash tun that we fabricated a false bottom for. Don't recommend that configuration. That sucked. And then one of them was a hot liquor tank. We used a hot water on demand recirculatively. And it worked. I mean, we used some, crappy pumps, still all stainless. We did the best we could to make sure there was not inappropriate materials in contact with the beverage. And the plastic we had a certain amount of time it could only stay in there. So, within 3 days after fermentation was complete, as it crashed, we had to get it out of there because the oxygen ingress would kill the beer.
Yeah.
So we had to hurriedly get that through. Our biggest pain was really having enough money for enough kegs to hold the beer. That was awful. We partnered with a wholesaler pretty early, and they had a fleet of some kegs that they would loan us as often as possible. And that was also back before taproom could be done with the G licensed brewery. So we didn't even have a taproom on the books.
Yeah.
And so, it was mac and cheese broke. Like, Don, we really need another valve. How much is it going to cost? $65. Okay, it's going to have to wait till the end of next week. Like, that kind of broke.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, just scraping it together to, I think I made $12,000 in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't do that. People are like, oh, I want to do that. Like, no, you don't.
It sounds very romantic and nice until you're actually doing it. You're like, no.
It is not romantic.
Yeah.
It is, if you like the work, it's fine. I like the work. The struggle, I don't want to do that again.
A lot of people just see finished cans.
Yeah. They're like, oh, yes, rock star. It's just beer, man. Relax. They're like, oh, you're making like a lot of money. Yeah, I watch money go by. I'm like, oh, sweet. Oh, damn it.
And cash flow.
Yep.
Yeah. Emphasis on the flow.
Yep. We make a lot of beer is what I tell people. We don't make a lot of money. I mean, we watch it go by, but we make a lot of beer. If you like to have beer, sure. And then you got to make sure you can control that. Too many people got into a bit of a situation, open breweries, and have a problem. Luckily, I don't have an addictive personality except to work.
Yeah. So how long was it this kind of like, was it always like the jerry-rigged system?
We just made it bigger. we ended up finding a vessel online that we wanted to turn into a larger, more appropriately shaped single infusion mash tun. So
wider.
Wider. We put a manway in it. We bought a manway from GW Kent and welded it into place. And my brother again did some magic and built us another multi-piece false bottom for this unit, which worked a heck of a lot better. We set up a second hot liquor tank so we could have a cellar tank, and then we bought our first piece of new equipment, 15 barrel bright tank. That was magical. still ghetto glycol air conditioners twisted into insulated vessels. Oh, this is bad. We probably had 10 tons of power between all the air conditioners we were using for glycol chilling. We'd have several units, and then we got a 7.5 horsepower glycol chiller from the original Full Pint Brewing Company. So we met them, and he's like, "I one sitting out back I got from John Harvard's. It was an old pub system."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's just sitting out there. If it doesn't work, you have to get rid of it. If it works, give me $500. It works, so give him $500.
Great deal.
Yeah, so did that and just kept rigging things together, and rigging more things together. And then the landlord said he was going to rip out all the double layer wood floor on the one unit in the front of upstairs building where they are now. And we're like, this might be our opportunity. So we took over that space. He said he would pay for the concrete if we did the demo work. And since my partner, owned a paving company, it was out, but is, still had connections to it, we could do the demo. So we did all the piping installation, all the drain installation, all the plumbing installation, all the electrical installation. And the landlord paid for the pour, which is a $40,000 freebie for us. Mm-hmm. So the sexy pitched floors that are there were free, but we had to do all the rest of the work. And every expansion was collapsing over the finish line. During the time of that expansion, which was like 13 to 14, we're talking now.
Yeah.
I had been working with Senator Chuck McIlhinney and Tom Linson with Jeremy Myers, formerly of Neshaminy Creek, to write that first bill that allowed you to have G-licensed breweries and sell beer with just 10 seats. And
oh, wow.
kids.
You were a part of putting that together.
I went to a Christmas party for one of the borough council members, and Chuck was there. And basically, we got drunk together. And then he called me on Monday, and he was like, "I need you to help me with this bill." I'm like, "Man, I don't want to get involved in politics." And he's like, "That's why I want you to help me with this bill." I'm like, "Okay, fine." It was only answering a couple questions. He had already had his ideas. He was already doing his thing. He just needed some brewers to really bounce some stuff off of. I still didn't believe it. We built the tap room to be a tasting room. We didn't believe that it was going to actually go through because, Pennsylvania, we're like, nah, these laws are all messed up. There's no way. And then it passed. It hadn't gone to the governor's desk yet, but it passed, and right as we were opening, and I was like...
This changes things.
He's like, "Do it, pour pints." I was like, "Jeremy, is your tap room ready?" He's like, "No." I'm like, Kurt from HiJinx, like, "Is your tap room ready?" They're like, "No." I'm like, shit.
You want them to be first?
I just wanted to be somebody else in the crosshairs when we opened on the same day. I wanted at least the LCE to have two places to look at.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Chuck, you come buy the first beer." He's like, "Yeah, I'll do that." I'm like,
take a picture of you doing it.
I was like, "Will you put it on camera?" He's like, "I'll do that." I'm like, "All right, I'm good.
Yeah.
So we started selling pints, and that was literally $1 million race. That saved us. I mean, that was
a game
collapsing
changer.
over the finish line.
I mean, the whole brewing industry has now shifted towards this hospitality. Like, they're just turning into bars without liquor licenses because of that.
Well, so I'm very careful about how I describe stuff like that because, it looks a lot like a bar, but it's not. Brewery culture really is pub culture because,
It is. It's way different.
back in the turn, before Prohibition, every bar had a brewery or had a brewery making their beer for them.
Yeah, the Tide Houses.
Right. And that's really what pub culture is. A bar and a brewery are essentially the same thing, but not really. So I think brewery culture is really, the taproom culture is really what it's meant to be, like a third space, community space. Yep. Like,
you're not chugging Red Bull boxes there.
Right. Yep. You're going there because you want to be there. We designed the tap room there to be amicable to people gathering. We wanted the music to be the right volume so that when there's 5 people in there, you can hear it. But if there's 12, you can't because the conversation is doing the work. Mm-hmm. Sound remediation everywhere. Even the types of materials you were touching, like this wouldn't be sharp, it would be rounded, like softer woods, colors that are appealing, things like that. You want people to want to hang out and be comfortable, and then they want to buy more. Mm-hmm. They have church groups come there once a month, and they'd buy a couple beers, but they just wanted to hang out there because it was cooler than the echoey church rooms. So that's how we sort of looked at everything.
Were you close to Jeremy Myers?
Yep.
He's
yeah.
another.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, we would definitely have him on the podcast at some point. But he's another person that kind of started the same time as you.
Yep.
So, I guess we haven't. Free Will was known for barrel aged beers.
Yep.
So when did that start? Was that from the beginning?
Almost.
Was that you?
Yep. I started that pretty early because I was really passionate about it.
When you were homebrewing? Were you doing like microbe stuff or anything?
I didn't have patience for that. No, I read all the books, drank all the beer, and did all the research I possibly could.
Yeah.
But started with a culture I actually acquired from somebody that had, unbeknownst to me, acquired it from somebody else and couldn't get it to work. Didn't tell me it couldn't get to work until after I'd already, pitched it into 15 barrels of wort. And yeah, surprise. Well, I got it to work. But yeah, the first beer was our Creek, and it was pretty darn good. And we kept that moving. It happened to like lots of oxygen ingress. So those, IBC food grade plastic containers were actually perfect for it. Not sexy, but they definitely worked.
Did that stain it? Or I guess you guys were putting the...
Not really. We figured out how to CIP them. We had we built a port cap so we could put a spray bowl in there, and we would, recirc them just like a regular tank.
And you were hitting it with the same chemicals as stainless?
Mm-hmm. You just got to watch your temperature. Medium density poly, you got to hit with up to 170 degrees. It's still sanitary.
Yeah.
The cylindrical conical poly tanks we had would get a little warped a little while you were heating them, but they were fine. But 170 degrees will still kill anything, and use the same old chemicals, not a problem. You just it's just a lot more work. It's a lot more labor. It's, working with, regular brewery equipment is so nice.
Yeah.
So nice.
Things that are designed to do what you do there are way more expensive, but it's much easier.
Yeah. Well, once we got moving a little bit and started to, get a little traction, one of the banks in the area was pretty supportive, more supportive than I think they should have been because we didn't own the building, but they believed in us and were willing to give us loans when others definitely would not have. So they were able to give us money when we really needed it to get expanded. And that's how we ended up with a whole crap load of tanks. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was a lot of work. Yeah, destroyed one marriage. A lot of people have the same story.
Yeah.
Didn't have a substance problem, so that's good. But I worked a lot. And I would tell people on the tours, was like, you think you can work and do all those hours until you do it, and then it's not the same. I had already been a workaholic and knew what it was like to work 100-hour weeks. And I used to tell people parts of my personality got cut out by that and might not ever come back. Luckily they did, but yeah, it's a whole different way of living, and I don't think it's a healthy way to go.
No.
This industry has its own mental health issues, as we're all well aware.
Yeah.
And I was always a champion for telling people to slow down.
Yeah, like you said before, it's just beer.
It's just beer. Relax.
Yeah.
Don't have an aneurysm because you're worried about this beer. People like new brewers like spill beer on the ground. They cry that. I was like, yeah, we put more beer down the drains than you drank in your entire lifetime just this month.
Yeah.
Like, relax.
What was the split between just I guess normal beer and like barrel aged stuff there?
We did a lot of putting stuff in barrels as quickly as we can because our budget was 3 years. Yeah, it's not going to be ready for 3 years. If you budget it for that, if it comes out early, great. But 3 years is where your best expectation is. So we just started adding stuff to barrels and turning it. But back then, at one point, we were putting 30 barrels of sour beer in the market, in the Philly market alone, a month.
Wow.
A month. Yeah. And then more people started to come online, and then it was more like 3. And then while we were changing bottle formats, the market shifted away from big bottles. Meanwhile, we had like 10,000 bottles aging. It's like, ooh. This is
Where would you sell these to?
all over the place. We had people even as far north as like Connecticut, Massachusetts, taking deliveries, and down into Virginia, Maryland. We did send some stuff to Tokyo, but that was very limited.
Wow, that's very cool.
Very limited. Yeah, things were different back then. And then as they changed, we sat on more and more products. And then, well, after I left, the flood happened. That sort of cleared that all out. Probably helped, actually. It's a shame, though.
Just forced the subject.
Yep. Then we had at one point 6 fooders, 1,540-gallon fooders, 6 of them, and then like 400 other barrels, like a lot. We had a very large sour and mixed culture program. And then upstairs was all the Ralpheus and Ella and things like that we had also developed.
Do you have little tricks that you have for working with wood? I mean, you probably have more experience working with wood than kind of any brewer in the area.
Except for Nate Walter, who I brought on to take over my program as my position became more management. And also I would slide myself in as shift brewer because that's where I needed to be. But management, we brought him on as soon as we could afford him. And then,
Where's he from?
He was a home brewer in a club, and then he was working at McKenzie Brew House.
Okay.
And then we pulled him from there. They just released him right after the Ralpheus program was announced this past year.
Got it.
So he's sort of doing some gig work right now, but I talk to him pretty regularly. Still good friends with him. Yeah, he took over the program from me, and I just was like, you're going to do the design work. Just keep me involved. That's all I need. He said, well, I'm going to see what you want to do. I was like, no. I brought you in because I trust you. Do with it what you will. I just want to be a part of it. I was like, I wasn't going to hire anybody else. I would have kept doing it until we could afford you. So he took it over from there. But the tricks are, sour beer, there's, sanitation is always what it is. Have separate equipment. The big beer stuff, that's really the trick. How do you get a 12% capable yeast go to 16 or 17 before it even goes in the barrel? That's the trick. And that's having enough yeast that's ready to rock and roll, not pitching something you bought, like pitching something you actually built.
Was that, you just had an emphasis on yeast? Because your background was like biology and chemistry.
We had our own, because, it cost an arm and a leg to buy a pitchable quantity of liquid yeast.
Yeah.
Only now can you get a 500-gram brick of dry yeast for $50. Back then it was like, oh, I need a 7-barrel pitch of, US05. Okay, $700. Fuck.
Yeah.
So we built our own streams of starters. We would buy 2 smack packs, and in 4 days I'd have enough yeast for 30 barrels. And because we had basically coddled it the whole way, we knew exactly how ready to go it was. So it would rip. So we would, did learn to divide our big beers into staged brewing. Like you'd brew a third of it on a Monday and pitch enough yeast for that entire batch. And then you'd brew another third of it on a Wednesday. And again, pitch enough yeast for the entire thing. And then brew another third of it on a Friday and pitch enough yeast for it again. And then you do a sugar addition on Monday and do, again, much more yeast. Not a lot of aeration because you're only giving it the yeast you don't want it to replicate, because replication causes all flavors.
Yeah.
You want to give it all the healthy yeast, as little air as possible to do the job, but also not mess with its osmotic pressure. So you can't just brew it all at once, and you can't do the sugar addition. You can't do a 47 Plato pitch. It just doesn't work.
Did you guys have a hot room to put the sugar in, and was it fermenting in the bottles?
For the re-fermentation,
yeah.
That was all, those big beers, getting them to re-ferment in a can or a bottle.
Not happening?
No. The strongest beer came out of there was their Dystopias, 20.45%. That was a project I started, and they wanted to dump. And I fought to keep it on the floor, and then they're releasing it, producing these sexy bottles. Even Nate was like, I was surprised how good it was. I told you.
Just the process.
And Megan Parisi actually encouraged me to start that program.
Who?
Megan Parisi. She's the experimental brewer for Boston Beer Company.
Oh, cool.
She brought over a 7-year old Utopia's beer when we were at Extreme Beer Fest. Oh, it was so good.
I've never had that before.
Don't drink it until it's old.
Okay.
I had it young and it's yeah. But when it was like that, it could have been the experience. Megan Parisi walking over with a pitcher of very expensive beer. And she's like, here you go.
We had William Reed on last night. He says hello. But he said that he brewed a beer when he was at Sam Adams back in the day, and he found it at 700 Club a couple of years ago, and he still has a keg of it.
Holy
Tap
crap.
it when
That's
his
hilarious.
daughter graduates med school or something. But yeah, it's pretty old.
Hopefully it doesn't suck.
He said it was good. He said he tapped it a little
hope he
bit. He had
checked
one
it.
keg of it, and he said it was good. But yeah, that's impressive.
Nothing worse than cracking something. Oh, it's going to be amazing. No.
Yeah.
Especially putting it in a barrel.
Oh, yeah. If it goes, you got to have a dump fund. Got to have a dump fund.
Yeah.
Sometimes it sucks.
Wow.
Rule number 1, you can't rush the beer. Rule number 2, you can't fix beer. If it's messed up, it's messed up. Not amount of sugar or fruit will fix it.
Yeah, it's done.
Just can't do that. You got to just roll with it, and you just got to put it down the drain. I've seen plenty of breweries that are like, oh, we're going to add strawberry to this. I'm like, how long has it been in a tank? Oh, like 4 weeks. I'm like, that's a bright tank, right? Like, yeah. Why? Like, did you need that tank? It's like, oh, yeah, like 6 times. Like, how much that cost?
Yeah, not worth it.
Just put it down the drain, man.
Just sunk cost. So, what year was this? Like this is 20.
Which part? When we were selling all that beer into the Philly market?
Yeah.
Sour beer. So that was probably 16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah, 17-ish. It all runs together.
Yeah. Yeah, we're working so much. It all blends together.
Yep.
And then when did you kind of transition out of there?
So the pandemic happened.
Okay.
My relationship with my partner had already sort of gone south.
Yeah.
I knew we weren't going to survive as friends, but I didn't expect it to go that south.
Yeah.
But, at September, I left.
Okay.
It was
Of 2020?
Yeah. And then I just sort of diddy-bopped around a little bit and did a little consulting here and there. And then got connected with the incoming potential new owner of the Chatty Monks. And he and I did get along really well, and ended up consulting for him, and then became like full-time consulting for him. And then just in June of 21, flipped my salary into he pays my taxes instead of me. I was already prorating my salary, so it wasn't like I was charging him full consulting rate. Otherwise, I would be driving around in a Bentley. But yeah, but I did get paid well as a master brewer at that point. But that has changed a bit as the cost of living has dramatically shifted since then.
Yeah.
And he and I stopped getting along quite as well as we used to. He stopped listening, really. And as a consultant, that's a little bit difficult for me.
Like you're paying to listen to you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then we have Irina Wise there, too, who is also amazing.
She was my first manager in history.
Yeah, graduated top of her class out of Master Brewing
VLB.
School in Berlin. Like,
Wow.
oh my God, like she's awesome. And so there's multiple people there that know considerably more than he does. But he's got a lot of manufacturing experience and has his ideas. And it's not that they won't work.
What were they making before that? Because I know it was like a family there. There was beer.
There were 3. The original owners were three dudes, and they bought some equipment and had random brewers come through, like some good ones. But they had some equipment challenges that they probably should not have been finishing beer there.
Yeah.
Like a plate exchanger that's like this big. It's for a 4.5 barrel system. 4 hours to cool a batch of beer. That causes issues with consistency and combination. That they did their best, and they did what they could. But I was like, I can't work with this. Like you can't make beer on this. So we ended up getting Imprint's old system, and I went and ripped it out and reinstalled it, and it works pretty well. And I've worked with Ryan at Imprint for a couple of different things, but as the industry has changed, we started doing THC soda, THC seltzer, soda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was something that was interesting. Like, I didn't realize that either you or you've had other experience in specifically like sodas and THC drinks. So
I have had some that were made by people that were terrible, and apparently I'm okay as a formulationist for making soda as well, but I put together a lot of them for him. He was screaming about it for a couple of years, actually. It took me till this year.
That which, the soda or the THC?
Yeah, soda.
Okay.
The THC sort of landed on our lap.
Yeah.
Somebody reached out about doing it, and as it turned out, he was working for a consulting agency and one of the primary dudes I'd known from the beer world since 2015. So the vetting process got real short real quick. You're like, here, go do this. I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess we're doing this now. So we winged it, and it worked out really well. And then we did it again. And I might be doing some of their work on this coast because they're from Tennessee area. But they do big production, and they need somebody that wants to do small production at high level of quality, so like pasteurization, things like that. But I don't, less than 2,000 gallons, which is perfect because I don't want to do a production brewery. I'll build one, but I don't really want to run it. I mean, I guess if somebody wrote a big enough check, money does talk. But when I got 10,000 barrel a year brewery, I did 7,000. It's not as much fun.
Yeah.
And I like the work. I like being on the floor. I like figuring stuff out. I like fixing stuff. I like making everybody else's job easier as best I can. I walk into places and like, well, why don't we do this and do this and do this, and you'll probably be a lot faster.
But doing the same thing over and over again is not your jam.
I don't mind that either. Brewing is brewing. People are like, what kind of beer do you like to brew? I'm like, yes.
It's all kind of the same thing, just different amounts of each thing.
Although, figuring out unmalted sorghum, that's been the bane of Irene and my existence for a while now. We make beer. We make not gluten-free beer there, and we're now at unmalted sorghum.
How's that? Just turning into like oatmeal paste?
Well, we've learned to do a cereal mash with some of it, overnight rest, and then we'll pitch the rest of the
overnight rest. You rest it all night?
Huh? Exogenous enzymes is the key word.
Yes. Yeah.
And then also figuring out which ones. Now, they make unmalted cocktails, like Pro Malt works. However, debranching enzymes for sorghum are not the same debranching enzymes for malt. So you got to figure out how to cut up the different dextrins that are in sorghum. So you got to figure out.
Do they have very specific temperature controls or anything?
Yeah, the temperatures for conversion is still starch into sugar. That all happens the same way. Like the malting process, if you're doing sorghum, is different. Different grains malt at different levels, but we didn't have to deal with that. We had to just be able to get access to the starches and then be able to debranch them into sugar and convert them. And like hemicellulase and like polulinase and more beta amylase and like just figuring out the right cocktail so that it didn't do the
Never heard of it. Polulinase.
Polulinase. Yeah,
What's that?
It's a dextrin debranching enzyme. You just start doing a little bit of research, and now we find out that there is actually a cocktail with like a bioglucanase cocktail from BSG, which is a DSM product, that has like a hemicellulase and polulinase and some other, cell wall breakdown enzymes and things like that to actually gain access to the starches. So this is where I love this shit. I start talking like that and everybody just glasses over. Like, but we'll sit there and talk about it for hours.
Are you doing just as much soda and THC stuff as you are beer?
It depends on the week. We also do packaging for other people, like ciders and things like that. Like we package for
any type of liquid.
Almost, yes, as long as we're allowed. Yes, we do. Excursion cider. We do their core. That's the name of their primary brand. It's the only thing they can. We've been doing that for a year and a half.
Nice.
So I get to take low fills home, which is nice.
Yeah. Yes, I always thought that. I mean, I've been told you jumped on. I thought that you were doing full time Pagoda City.
Oh yeah, it was. And I was like, oh, things have changed since we rescheduled this.
Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about the consulting stuff. Like, whew. Yeah, I've always helped out. I'm always the guy that's like, people just reach out to me. Or if I see something go by on the internet, somebody asking a question, no one's really answering, like, I'll send them a direct message. I won't post on the thread usually. I'll just send a message. And if he sees it and he sends it to me, I'll help. Like, my glycol is down. I don't know what to do. It's doing this. This is the code. And I'll be like, give me a call. What's it doing? And then we'll figure it out. And I was like that my whole career.
Yeah, even when you were at Freewell, it seemed that everybody knew you because everyone had probably asked you a question at some point.
And like if I was working and doing it on my phone and I don't have to stop, like I'm on the toilet or I'm walking from A to B, that doesn't cost me anything. Yeah. So I did that for a long time, and then it got to the point that sometimes like I I can fix this, but I need to go sit at my computer and I need to figure this out. And by the
Yeah.
time that's what I need to start talking about. I probably should charge you a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I started doing some more of that. And then I, leaving free will was like, yes, this is what I'm doing now. And started doing that and then worked for Raj for a while. I was still doing some small stuff, piecing that system together for round guys with as much pieces, parts as possible. And they're like, I could probably do this. I was like, so what's your plan for your automation and your control system? They're like, you're doing it. I'm like, okay. All right.
A little bit further behind than I thought.
Okay. Meanwhile, the whole time I've been like, everybody's been in a brewery and some cold call salesperson comes in, wants to sell you some control automation system of something to automate something or control or, just test and measure your tanks while you're not there. Being able to get your stuff on your phone is a brewer's peace of mind, but it's so expensive. So many people came in a free will. They're like, oh yeah, we'll automate this. We'll give you a test. We'll let you run it for a while, see you like it. All right, what am I talking for cost? Well, $500 a tank, plus it's $150 a tank per month. I'm like, you can just go. Go. Like, no. You see it's like duct tapes and zip ties holding this place together? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's your entire margin right there.
Right. But you look in a brew house and like a lot of the stuff when you open a control panel or something automated like that, it looks daunting. But if you look at it, a lot of it's just organizing wires, and each piece is doing a lot of the same things we're used to. It's relays, contactors, and like some brains. But it's really not anything other than what got us to the moon in the 60s.
Yeah.
That's why you have a place called Automation Direct. The technology is not new. So now you integrate it with like an HMI or a touchscreen. It's still talking to the same old crap.
It just looks new.
So I surmise that all the pieces are out there, and if I could just figure out how to put them all together, it would be cost efficient for breweries like us to be able to afford. And it took 2-ish years to figure out all the pieces. Actually, part of it was finding a pressure sensor that was robust enough to leave in there, but also not unobtainable in cost. And that's what came to last. And my buddy Greg, who's retired, whose daughter worked for me, and him and his wife were our first brewery mom and dad and helped on the bottling line, and she'd bring us, lunch. He's retired and loves this programming. He every device in his house, he knows exactly how much energy it draws at any given moment. He's that guy. So he was able to figure out how to put it all together. So now, and I did a couple installs and have worked it up, and they get free maintenance. And then, being at Pagoda City, I actually turned our small cellar into a live. Oh no. I can't show you because the network's down. But you can actually control that from anywhere in the world for not a lot of money.
Control what? The temperature?
Temperature and also pressure. We have a module so that you can do.
It can put CO2 in? Mm-hmm. Wow. That's tricky.
So it's for your pressure fermented lagers, which has a temperature curve like this and a pressure curve like this. But your first night, you're absorbing CO2 because it's in replication. So you need to be able to put CO2 in. And then also we can get it as far as running a program on it. We'll tie it to an in-tank gravity and temperature measurement device plus your side temperature device. And you can have it ping you it's dropped 1 Plato in act programming, hit a button and it'll just do it for you. None of us ever let it do that. We always do it ourselves. Because it's just too cool. Gotta turn it down. Yeah, all right, it's good. So that's what we're doing up in Nazareth. He's putting in a control system, and I'm building a glycol pipe.
Where? What brewery?
It's called Nazareth Brewing Company. They're not open yet. He's a smart home brewer, restaurateur guy, and bought a bunch of really nice, shiny Blickman stuff, 5-barrel system. So I'm basically working with a bath-style glycol chiller that I have to put a real pipe network in. So I built a 3-pipe system.
Just watch the tapping.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, Kate Scott is the best speaker that, probably in the Philadelphia area, and even she was tapping, so don't feel bad. Yeah.
I just talked.
And Liam's the producer. He came on 3 episodes ago, and he was tapping, so. Don't feel bad.
But yeah, stuff like that, and like, you know, a couple of different, you know, we'd love to be able to put more installs in. So, you know, my company's name is BGS Beverage Consultants.
Okay.
Our website only has the automation stuff on there right now. But I am going to putting my other capabilities on there. It was built specifically for that.
Yeah.
But it'll have more on there. I don't have social media yet.
I was gonna say
It's all been word of mouth, which is ideal. But if I wanted to pay all the bills, I probably should put a little more effort into it. So got to do that. We went to the BOP symposium last year, talked to a bunch of people, but some people they need to see it in action.
yeah.
But this job we got by word of mouth. You know, we did birthright right around the corner,
Oh, okay.
and Brewer told him to call us. I didn't know it was going to be also building a glycol system, and because I'm like Helpy Helperton. I'm like, so we brewing today or what? So, helped them brew the one day for funsies, and I brought. Luckily, because you know any brewery equipment supplier, you say, give me a full kit so I can brew. No, so I had my trailer there with all my parts, and I have my own. I have a couple card pumps and brewery line and just parts. And so I brought some of my own stuff in there. So we did make beer. We weren't quite ideal, which is normal, but next time it'll be better. Borrowed a plate exchanger, because even the Blickman one is still a brazed plate exchanger. I'm like, don't even use that. Just keep it for a cold liquor tank or a hot liquor tank you build later, but don't run word through it. If it gets clogged, you're gonna kill yourself. Try to get it clean again. I'll find one locally to borrow or something. So I borrowed one from a friend. So we made beer with somebody else's equipment.
So how the automation stuff? How many breweries is that in right now?
4, 5, 4.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how much? And it's just you putting the
No,
systems
it's
in?
me and my friend Greg.
Okay.
You know? And then so we're doing that.
How much of that work is like maintaining the system, like kind of updating it? And
He does. It's not much. We do have a maintenance fee, which is a couple dollars per tank per month, not 50 or 150. It's $5 or something like that. It's I think Pagoda is like 175 a month
yeah.
to have and that comes with a certain degree of support.
But you started it at Pagoda City as kind of like your guinea pig, like.
Well, no, actually, I put one in stable 12 too.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, I've known Ricky for forever. Like he would come to the garage and hang out before he opened his.
So I went to high school with Ricky.
Okay.
A couple years older than me, but we grew up around Ursinus.
Yep. Yeah, I've known him a long time too. So yeah, he's actually looking to put in a 15-barrel steam system soon.
Cool.
This year. He kept talking about putting it through. I was like, no.
Do they still have the original brewing system there?
Mm-hmm.
It's
not
crazy.
the mash tun.
Okay.
They have a.
Yeah, the mash tun was nuts.
Yeah. It's
They
the
have
same
nice
hot liquor system.
They have
too.
nice tanks there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're making a lot of beer. It's like
They are. Well, and that kind of was like I'm like every time I'm there, I'm like, you can even make this work better. They got Travis there now, so
yeah.
he was there before.
Did you work there for a little?
Yeah, in like college, I was like interning there, but also like I went to high school with them, so I know all the bartenders. I know all the Chris Carbett. I lived with his younger brother Ben. I'm good friends with him. So I've been around Stable 12 a lot.
He's had a rough go with a couple of things over the years, and I've sort of helped out with where I can, helping find people and plugging stuff in.
Yeah,
He's like-
Travis is good though. He's I don't know. Travis, I think started there like 6 or 7 years, 8 years ago or something. He's been there for a while. He should be up there.
And then he left to go to Imprint, and then when that happened, he went right back.
Yeah, that's easy.
And he's dating Jackie, who used to work for me, who now is at Sly Fox.
Cool.
So,
Small world.
Yep. So yeah, do that, and then I'd like to do more. I'd like to connect THC customers to the right facilities to help that, and I would like to do my own brand at some time if I had the time to actually do that.
So can we talk about that? The rules for THC is that you can make THC beverages in Pennsylvania, and then you can ship them out of state to then.
You can sell them to unlicensed people in state, and you can actually sell them off of a licensed premises. There are ways to do it, but you cannot do it on a licensed premises.
Okay.
That is how places like Redner's are doing it because they have their liquor licenses inside those bollards, and their THC stuff's over here. That's how that works. But there's no there's also no legislation. So the policing of it, the policing of it is really, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's almost like
doing
like this weird middle ground of like, it's not legal, but it's not illegal. So the police are not even touching it. They don't know what to do. They're
like, PLCB, let's kick it back to the state police. He's kicking it back to the PLCB. Like, somebody just say something. It's going to end up following the alcohol laws. It's going to do it that way, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen soon because there's a lot of revenue that the state's missing out on.
Definitely. I think every state that touches PA, right? It's already legalized.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all over Jersey, all over.
And the governor is pro weed, so.
It's just getting it through, and they got to follow a structure, and everybody's got to get along. It's going to go through the wholesalers. We know it is. In some, it's going to be franchise law. That's how it's going to go. And the federal government is now getting back involved, even though they're the ones that made it legal for all this in 2018. Now they're like, well, we're going to table it for a year, which usually means it's going to just be forgotten about and just never be touched again. That's usually how that happens, but there's too much business involved. There's now billions and billions and billions of dollars of businesses operating. If they were to now make it illegal again, it would ruin like a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's good. But in the absence of any federal guidance and also state guidances for the most part, Illinois has actually been sort of leading the way, and a lot of the other states people are following what they're doing. So it's actually almost self-regulating, which is not something I would ever say is a good idea to let an industry do, but it is actually sort of creating its own regulation by, setting some industry standards. You'll see a lot of 2.5 milligrams as your like serving size. So you'll get a can that says 10, but it's like 4 servings. You'll see a lot of that. Anybody that's worked with Illinois or any of these multi-state distribution companies are following that model for the most part. And it's pretty interesting to watch, but it's been fun.
You see it just going to continue to grow tremendously.
Absolutely. And you got those nootropics now too. People are getting into mushrooms and stuff.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time.
Yeah, there's, was it Breeze? Breeze is it's like a metallic looking can, and it's like a mushroom nootropic it's like a microdosed mushroom drink.
I don't think I've seen that yet.
They sell for like $18 a can at some bars in Fishtown.
No way.
Yeah.
You can legally sell that.
Well, it's like the weed where it's just like, all right.
And nootropics they're just supplements at this point.
Yeah.
They're not even classified as anything. It's not like, THC where it's still a Schedule 1 drug, which was supposed to be descheduled in January, but I guess Trump forgot. But it was going to go to Schedule 3, but nope. And that was only mainly for money. Like they still can't use federal bank accounts, which is kind of annoying, I would imagine. There's ways to do it now, but it's not direct.
There's a lot more hoops to jump through.
They figured out ways to do it. It's just more pathways. I mean, you can send money from your phone now. I don't see why they can't figure out how to put a bag of cash in a bank.
Yeah.
But I'd like to be able to help make more of that stuff. And I've been working with Mark from Deer Creek doing non-alcoholic stuff. Cool. And we're working on doing some fun stuff together in Allentown out of the same facility Brew Daddies operates out of. I'd like to get all 3 licenses and do some fun stuff there. So yeah, there's plenty of work out there. There's lots of need for small contract at high level, like good quality stuff. There's lots of need for lots of small businesses that want to start and need somebody to partner with. Just where to do it.
That's what I'm going through right now. I brought out a workhorse, but it's like
a little big.
It's big, but it was like I'm selling the beer, so it's fine. But it's it was like there is no other way to start, without having a lot of cash.
And it's expensive. Like
Yeah.
I know we bid it, and like Raj's cost structure is not my cost structure.
Yeah.
His a way of amortizing the expenses of the business I don't align with. I get his mentality about it, but it doesn't speak beer industry, which is why it didn't translate to something you were interested in. It makes sense. I'm looking at these prices going, oh, our wholesaler doesn't want anything from us because it's just too expensive. Now, you and I both know everything costs a lot more now, but still, we sell things that, wholesale more expensive than they land at a bar down here in Philly. Like, it's like, how can we get on tap in Philly? I'm like, you can't.
Yeah.
No. Can we make it cheaper? I'm like, no. It's too small of a business, too much overhead.
Yeah.
And it's
like the constant battle, just trying to find the margins where you can.
Yep. And so I keep it retail.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to deal with retail. I'm like, I get it. While you don't want to deal with retail, you can be doing $20,000 a week out of each location while you figure out the rest of it.
Yeah. So you can have, if you have the ability to do both,
Right.
they can support each other.
Yeah. I get that, he doesn't want to deal with, herding cats, which is front of house. I mean,
That's another headache, but there is no easy path. It's just you have to pick something.
Yep. Yep. That's why I originally wanted to do just wholesale. So it could be easier. No people, no staff. I don't want staff. Shit. When I left, we had our Christmas parties were 75 people.
Oh, wow.
Holy crap. And we only had the main facility and Peddler's Village. That was it.
It's
So many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people management.
Yep.
So what, I guess you've kind of talked about it, like the future kind of THC stuff. You're doing sodas now. I think you're doing any seltzers or any of the hard teas, basically everything.
I've done a little hard tea that, the cider, there's a hole in the market for cider. Hale and True is gone. That sucks.
It's now carbon copy.
Yeah.
Just
Saw that. I think today I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's an opportunity there to make cider. I know Excursion isn't interested in doing the distribution route. Smart. But there's a spot for other small cideries to pop up and be functional and sell cider.
we just had Claire. I don't know if you know Claire Trindle.
I do. Yep.
Claire was on the podcast. She was showing us all the different range of cider that somebody like me
She's a Pamalier. Yeah. She's awesome.
wasn't familiar with, but certainly is like a potential market there.
We drank a lot that episode.
Did she bring some mixed drinks in too?
Yeah. No, she didn't bring the mixers. She brought the mixers, the pre-made mixers.
But she also brought that. I don't even know what that liquor was. That brown liquor.
Oh, it was like
thing.
it was like cider liquor. It wasn't brandy.
Like apple wine.
It was like apple wine.
Yeah, but it was like 20% or something.
Yep. It's probably freeze distilled. You can do that as a distillery. You can get I did that at home once. That was fun. Take a hard cider and put it in a keg and then freeze it and force out. Yep. It's good stuff.
It was good. I never tasted anything like that, I don't think.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff out there.
Do you think, I know that there's the Fritz bill that's going to try to push through in PA where it's like, you can brew and distill in the same facility. Do you think that is kind of the future of craft, where it's not just craft beer? It's just it's the idea of craft where it's everything is
Everything,
alcohol,
you gotta be
it's
able to do
still
everything.
liquors, it's weed stuff. It's like just if you have the ability to have a license, just have a general license to make everything.
An intoxicant license.
Yeah, yeah,
Controlled substance clubhouse.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can get all.
It's naturally kind of moving there, but like, does it make sense to do that? Is it
Sure, I think
complicated?
so. I mean, you can already do all three licenses on the same premise. Permanent alternation of premises with the federal government means on paper, your canning line is on Tuesday, it's a brewery equipment. On Wednesday, it's a winery equipment, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They know you're using it whenever it's always back and forth.
Yeah.
But you used to have to file paperwork every time you wanted to change. But the federal government made it so you don't have to do that.
Everyone's probably like filing too much paper. Like, all right,
Right.
enough. All right.
But we have licenses now where you can have all three licenses in the same premises. You just have, clearly identified areas, less than 10-foot openings between stupid laws that are, winery, distillery, brewery. And then the rest of the equipment is just shared. It's not a problem. The biggest hang up really is the POS system. So if you have a single tap room and all three licenses, officially each of the licenses needs to sell its own products through each of its POS systems. Although with the product stuff, you can sell it from site consumption out of the same one. But if you want it to go, it needs to come out of, like, if you want to sell a bottle of vodka, needs to go out through that POS system.
So you need to get 2 more POS systems, and then just overcomplicates things, raises the price.
There's a way to do it. I just need to figure it out because, you have places like PA Libations. They're managing a bunch of distilleries licenses out of one space, selling it through one POS. So I know it's doable. Plus, you can sell beer through Shopify, which technically goes through a single POS system. Just got to figure it out. And then it'll work. But that's really the holdup, is just the way the money flows. It has to go through through the license. These are the things. I'm also getting somebody a distiller's license, a brewer's license, moving a winery license, and putting in a management agreement for a winery license too, for another company to control one of their storage locations. So much compliance work is.
Is that your least favorite part of the job?
Yeah, it's tedious. I don't mind it when I'm doing it, but it's like executive dysfunction. It's like I should get off this couch and go sit on my computer and work on my license. Instagram.
Yeah.
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 What's on Facebook Marketplace? 7-barrel system. Ooh. You can get everything through Facebook Marketplace.
It is. I've grown to use it a lot. Every day I'm on it.
Marketplace.
Yeah.
My house I'm in, I got Facebook Marketplace.
Actually,
Swear to God.
holy shit.
I looked at like 1,000 different houses online through every portal possible. And then I found they were on Facebook Marketplace, and I just found this one on Facebook Marketplace. I was like, I think I'm going to go look at that one. And then I went there. I was like, whoa, I need to bring her up, check this out. And signed the lease like 2 weeks later. Wow. We both moved far away, but electric is 8.7 cents a kilowatt hour. Down here it's what, 15? Maybe more? Yeah. Stuff's cheap. Stupid cheap. The house up there, our house is 3,200 square feet, 275,000
Wow.
on 0.89 acres with a 2-car oversized garage. Our basement is like 1,500 square feet, 6-bedroom, 3-bath.
Every size of my house.
Down where I was in Bucks County, that would have been 1.275. Up there, 275. Yeah, it's yeah. But we do have bears. I haven't seen one yet, but apparently they're there.
That's fun though.
Be neat.
Do you have dogs?
We have cats.
You have cats?
Yeah, they have cats. And there's also 2 feral colonies in town. The people are poor up there. It's a depressed region.
Okay.
But more people are moving in. We've met more young people. We see people moving in. They're younger. There's people renovating houses. So you got to go where the inventory is. They just keep telling me, I can't live anywhere. I'm like, just get a cheap car to drive or buy a motorcycle and move up with us.
Yeah.
Get a house up here. There's plenty of them. There's ones that are completely unoccupied, just sitting there falling apart. It's really a shame. But in the next 5 years, everything's going to get more expensive. So I drive a lot.
Yeah, thank you for coming down here. It was like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
But like I'll drive, I'll go to Nazareth, which is like an hour and 15. And then I'll go to like Lansdale from there, which is like another hour and 15. Then it's an hour 45 home.
Yeah.
My car hates me. I did buy a motorcycle though. I just took it apart over the winter and it's still apart. Oops. That's 52 miles at a gallon. That'll make things cheaper. But I can't pull a trailer with my motorcycle, which is problematic because I have stuff that I need and tools. So yeah. But yeah, there is tons of work out there for, brewers that have some experience and some mechanical skills. You just got to be willing to do some things that you didn't think you were going to do. Like if you don't like hazy IPAs and only want to drink traditional clear beer, probably going to be harder for you to find a job. Because you got to be a little bit topical.
Yeah.
Want to make money. There's nothing wrong with any of the products out there. Just don't sacrifice quality or stability. I don't want to see nobody blowing cans up ever again.
No, definitely
that
not.
Shit pissed me off.
I think we're beyond that. I think that was a
We are.
dark age for craft beer.
What was it, 420 North? Oh, we need better testing equipment. What, a hydrometer?
Yeah.
And some arithmetic? It's an algebra.
Yeah.
Blame it on somebody's stuff. Okay. All that money they're making, could have had an Anton par sitting on there and just load it in there. It spits out the number.
Yeah. It's crazy. I think that's been over an hour.
Yeah, that's what,
Yeah,
yeah.
flew by. Do you have anything that you want to say?
Anybody want a control system?
What's the name of the business again?
BGS Beverage Consultants.
BGS Beverage Consultants.
But you can find me anywhere. Just send me a message.
Cool.
So, what you're on your personal?
Yeah, I have my
well.
Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to start the business ones this weekend.
Oh,
Promise.
because then you'll see it on our.
Then I'll
site.
have to actually post stuff. Oh God, I used to be good at that. I got free will to 40,000 Facebook before I turned it over to Hannah.
Wow.
But yeah, not anymore. I post like once a month, maybe.
Yeah.
And she's mad because I don't post her. If you see me on the internet, it's usually she's posting me. Yeah, it's usually I'm being tagged somewhere.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Got offline.
Yeah, it's just I feel weird. Like, hold on a second. Well, I could be talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's part of life now, but it still feels weird.
Yeah.
It's part of business, like you're saying.
Right now that I am my business too, so it's like I'm promoting my own brand. I got a pair of channel locks I need to do something with instead of my phone. So, yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
thank
Thank you
you.
for coming on. We've talked about having you on for a while. Your name has come up a lot in a lot of episodes. You said been everywhere, talked to everyone.
Try to help everybody out.
Yeah.
That people are like, well, look, I tell people, I start telling my kids, it's like, the road of life is do whatever you do well and don't be a dick. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I try not to be a dick.
It's working out.
I've been a dick. Ask Hannah. I'm a dick. I'm trying to be a dick anymore.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, telling your story. And then we find what BGS Beer Consultants,
Beverage Consultants.
BGS Beverage Consultants, not just beer. Cool. And then you can find us at Brewdat, at the Brewdat Podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify.
5-star.
Five stars, comment, review.
Comment Richie's favorite shirt he's worn.
Yes, I only have 3 of them. We'll see you guys next week.